Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Starting Small. Today, I'm joined by Janel Luu of Mieux. Janel, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Cameron, for this opportunity to meet you and your people.
Of course. So I'd like to start out with your upbringing. So where did you grow up, and what was your childhood like?
I was born in Seoul, Korea, and the capital of beauty now. We immigrated into the United States, into New Jersey first, and then moved over to Monterey, California, where I was mostly raised. And it's been quite an interesting experience, bridging the two cultures.
Definitely. So what age did you move to the States then?
I was 9 years old.
Okay. Did you have an entrepreneurial mindset, say selling products or lemonade stands at a young age?
Probably I was inspired around when I would say beginning of high school, maybe high school. I always loved, my father had worked with conglomerates in Korea, so I was always kind of hanging out with the tycoons and their families and know any better at that early age. But
yeah,
I think it kind of subliminally influences you one way or another.
Definitely. Yeah, so if you can explain some of those experiences, maybe as a young child, maybe helping your father out or different entrepreneurial experiences.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a very young child, it was just more of a, observation and to see and like, wow, just these people are really big people, But as I started growing, I always loved, I really loved controlling my life, I think, even as a young child. So the very first time I had a lot of passion for beauty because my mother, Korean culture for women to have great skin is probably on top of their list of a priority. So I was always taught that women need to have, females or mostly females, need to have this gorgeous porcelain-like skin. And of course, I was born with not the best skin. My mom is like the porcelain skin goddess, probably the prime model for Korean beauty. And so my very first business opportunity was I met this woman, bought some skincare and had a skincare demonstration with my mother's friends. And probably they were thinking, okay, she's so cute, we need to buy something. So that's how my very first encounter with skincare sales, I guess.
Yeah. Amazing. So what was schooling like for you growing up? Did you study in California as well?
I did, but it was more the traditional Asian pathway, that you have to either, I'm almost 60 in about a month or so. So in my generation, you only had few options being Asian, right? Or Korean. Either you become a teacher, you become a doctor, a lawyer, engineer. Not much engineering back then. But so I studied a business, and I always had a lot of passion on product development. So even at that, I think I was about 13 years old, maybe, when I first sold my skincare product, and it was a natural. I wanted a natural skincare. So don't ask me how I came up with that idea. So I was very concerned with, and probably it's a lot of brainwashing from my mother. She used to fly from Seoul, Korea to Japan to, buy skincare sometimes. And I thought all mothers did that. And I found out when I grew up, no, not too many mothers do that. So I was raised with a very skin obsessed mentor. She still is. She's 89 years old right now. And she calls me all the time, like, so restock what I have.
Definitely.
So,
So were these your first days of learning about formulation? And what was that experience like, learning about formulating products and product development?
Sure. I think skincare formulation can be perceived almost like being a chef. So you can bring multiple different type of ingredients and then you mix it. But then as you start progressing, you learn more about delivery vehicle, how do you take these molecules and allow it to absorb into the skin? And I think when I started this journey, I have few philosophies among many of how I look at this product. Number one is I always think every consumer needs to rethink. Don't get swayed, persuaded, led by messages.
Mm.
And you need to really take a look at how this, I call it the molecule journey, because we curate different types of ingredients and blends it. To make skincare is not that complicated. Just like you can make fried eggs, right? It's not that complicated. Now, when you're making egg souffle, it becomes a little more complicated. So as the molecule needs to be more transformed and different experience, I'm a big foodie. So you know how certain food, even though the ingredient exactly the same, it reacts very differently in your mouth. Yeah. So that's how I have started my journey. So I'm a real big disruptor. I know this word has become big now, but
definitely.
I used to say that when I was in my 20s, 40 years ago.
100%.
You need to disrupt and not follow the status quo. And skincare right now as an industry, I think it's time for us to upgrade a lot more than just the marketing messages, even though it's very confusing.
For sure.
Currently.
Exactly. So following school and prior to Mieux then, were you working any jobs and what did those jobs look like?
So I was hired, obviously I was always chasing after beauty field.
Definitely.
I worked, in the beginning, I was so persistent, companies would reject me and I would just call until they took me in. Yeah. So from an entry level, working in the lab, and I really am inspired by product development. So I led groups of chemists and I would read the trend or set the trend. And, I was one of the first who started custom blending for consumers way too early for the market. What I realized about business, which I'm not, my passion really is not just profit-centered business, growth, startup, all of that. These are all new things. That's coming up. I'm more passionate about really changing one person's skin, one at a time, one bottle at a time. And it sounds so cliche or, it's not a marketing message. This is really my passion. So, primarily when I started my company or my business model, I wrote formulas and I sold my formulas to contract manufacturers or different brand companies or ideas. And then I realized I was not as pleased with some of their goals because it is very centered around profit, right? They needed to make the profit. Marketing is a huge cost. Some of the major companies will spend anywhere between 50 to 60, 70% on marketing fee. Yeah. So I just thought, what if I create a product? That's how all this journey started. And I'm still on the same track. What if I can make, I know this sounds a little bit arrogant, the best product? Yeah. And so that's why I named my company Mieux. It's French for the best.
Amazing.
And I said, what if I can continually reformulate and don't get stuck with status quo? Because most cosmetic companies, skincare company, you have one formula and you live and die with it, many times.
Definitely.
So whereas I have like cult followers, celebrities, just average person who wants to have, who wants to delay aging. I notice my best friend will tell me like, it's not fair. You have less wrinkles around your eyes now at 62 than when you're in my 30s. So we can, at this point, delay aging skin. It's really phenomenal without causing a lot of irritation. Yeah. There's so many things. I know you're Definitely. You're like, okay, talk to me about business.
No, that's super fascinating. I'm really curious with your early days and your first product developments. So what does the prototyping process look like in the R&D standpoint on making an effective product for that specific need?
Sure. So the very first thing you would do is obviously you have to ask, like, what is this product supposed to perform for this? How is this going to perform for the customers or clients?
Yeah.
And I have found in the beauty field, it's very simple. The categories are quite simple. So you have the cleansing part, the toner part, you know, the water. Then you have the serums, the creams, the exfoliants, you know, all of these are categories that you would fulfill. More than the bigger category itself, you want to, the way I took a look at the formulation is I broke down what is the skin, you know. It's not just a sheet of skin. So I looked at individual cells and what does that contain. There are 19,500,000 skin cells in 1 square inch of your skin. So if I could draw a square part on your face, you know, there are 19,500,000 there. So how am I going to deliver the ingredients into your skin? So you're going to choose, I mean, obviously when I started, we didn't have all the technology of delivery vehicles. Because of the drug delivery research that has been done, we have huge, really the enhancement on how do we use the product on topical skin. So so you choose obviously the ingredients, right? Like what are the main ingredients that needs to make the cream, for example? So cream is a combination of oils and waxes, or it can be butters. Boil it up at certain temperature, but you can put a lot of extracts, like, you know, different kind of botanical extracts.
Yeah.
A lot of proteins, you know, like peptides. These are maybe kind of boring for your audience, but there's just a lot of different ingredients to make that perfect combination that works really well. Again, I think the general public, I have found, are so influenced by the marketing messages.
Definitely, yeah.
And I'm noticing more as I'm in the beginning, I created this brand just for professional you know, in the aesthetic field, estheticians, medical spas, because they're in direct contact with people that has a lot of problems they want to resolve. You know, less trend. They're like, I need to look younger. I need my inflammation to be calmed down. Yeah. So it was a really great research place. So we were the very first company to launch like growth factors, and it's a delivery ingredient. You know, telling it's if you look at the skin itself, if you can kind of, it's like, do you remember when we had like fasting for dieting? People were starving, 500 calorie diets. And then we found out, oh my God, your body metabolism slows down. So now when you stop and you eat 2,000 calories or whatever, and then you all of a sudden gain all this weight, right?
Yeah.
Your body thinks it's starving. So we realized in the diet market, or, you know, healthy nutrition market, we realized that, hey, starvation doesn't really work. So just like skincare, you know, just using oils is not going to help you with dry skin. So I started researching a lot with hyaluronic acid. So we're one of the first leaders, I would think, that experiments a lot with hyaluronic acid. They call me the hyaluronic acid queen because I'm so in love with it. There's a lot of misunderstanding about that molecule.
Yeah.
When you ask, like, how do you build a product? Number one, like I said, first, what is the target? You know, is it aging? What are you trying to accomplish as an end goal? And then you have this whole variety of ingredients. So I don't like to beat the product when I'm making it. So the process is very important.
Definitely.
You know, how you mix in the speed of mixers or type of mixers. I use like sonic vibration to mix ingredients. Those little things makes a big difference as an outcome.
Wow.
So did that help your answer?
Definitely.
Okay.
Once a product is finished or in the process of being formulated, what does the testing look like? How do you test a product to make sure it's effective then?
Sure. So we go through a RIPT testing. That's to see the irritation that can cause for client skin, and in an independent laboratory. And Then we go through a PET testing to make sure the preservative system is strong enough that if any bacteria does enter into the product, that it's resistant and can fight it off.
Mhm.
And it's almost like the vaccine, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw that in.
No, definitely.
Not literally, but you know, it really helps for the product preservation is important. And then we go through a clinical testing where people will actually use the product. We use different clinical protocols, testing protocols, to make sure that we're not just, you know, hyping the products. And
Definitely.
but at the end of the day, it's the consumers that are not just flabbergasted by the brand name, but how it transforms the skin. And that's what gives me this incredible passion. I'm so sad that I'm aging so quickly because, you know,
No.
I just feel like, oh, there's so much more opportunity because as a drug delivery vehicle, that's really big for us because even though skin technically is very thin, it's waterproof. So nothing, you know, our skin is made so nothing can penetrate. So then what, right?
Yeah.
So it's understanding and then finding vehicles that's going to go through it. Even though you see a lot of brands saying, oh, we have this liposome, we have this, you know, so micellar, you know, so I think that that's something that's very inspirational for me.
Definitely. And that's an interesting point. I'm really intrigued with your passion and the transparency behind the products. What is your marketing strategy in contrast to maybe competitors who their clients maybe be manipulative or it's false marketing? So how does that kind of look like for your brand?
Well, you know, I am a disruptor, but I have to be cautious because you're dealing with the big green giants, right? That you don't want to, and I don't believe anything is bad for you necessarily. I know we tend to swing like, oh, all clean products are best. You know, or all of a sudden, or oh, you know, but then we need some chemicals. So there are a lot of behind the scene things that consumers have no idea about. Like looking at ingredients in the back of the box, and you'll say what we call inky, which is a name of that technically that ingredient. So it could be maybe ceramide, but ceramide is not like every ceramide. There's some ceramides that's literally identical to human sebum. And then ceramides that are not like that. So how do you as a consumer know which is better? It's really a dark hole. So for me, I always like people to do blind tests. So if you have a brand that you love and you pick up Mieux, it's really a clinical test literally on their face. So I'll tell them, and I have, you know, consumers that are SK2 lovers, La Mer, you know, large branded products, and they're all fantastic. But then I tell them, put half of that product and then put ours on half of your face, and then use it for 30 days. And you pick. It's like dating a guy. You know, you have two guys. Which one is better? You got to date them, right?
Definitely.
Your skin will respond best to the molecules that works best for you. So I believe, you know, I try to convince consumers. I'm so traditional that I thought, okay, I just want to have these products used by professionals because they be the ones that are actually tested. They get paid, you know, doing facials, right? So if people are they're paying to get products applied on their face and use machines and other you know, things too. So I thought they would be able to tell me. And we started developing really like a cult followers. I mean, you have to listen to some of my people. And are we a good marketer? Traditionally, no, because I'm just someone who has a huge heart and feels that if you really want transformation of your skin, then take it seriously. Because the reason I make this product as good as it is, number one is I'm horrified with injections, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just, when I see needles, I almost want to faint. So I wanted a product that can deliver from external application that can really delay aging. And is that
Mm,
possible? That was my experiment, you know, that was my really like, is that possible?
yeah.
So I created what I thought could be the best, and voila, consumers and professionals are saying it's changing my skin.
Mm,
And that's so rewarding.
it's
So,
amazing.
you know, yes, I'm learning a lot. We just went online. You know, I resisted. I said, I don't want to go online. You know, I'm probably the last one on the bus for a beauty brand because I said, you know, because I don't get to see my people. You know, I don't get to see and get their feedback.
Yeah,
And it's all based of, you know, oh my goodness, all the acronyms you have, you know,
definitely.
click-through rate, CTR, you know, all these. So I really, I'm very organically positioned,
Mhm.
meaning I literally jump up and down when I can fix people's skin. I
That's
do.
wow.
And if I can do this before I exit out of this world, hey, I've done my job. And the
Definitely.
reward is, yes, the company is growing. And I'm learning. You know, a lot of people come to me, they go, oh my God, you have so much potential. You need better marketing. I said, I agree.
Mhm.
So now I'm learning to, I don't agree with it all the time because
Mm,
there is a lot of filters, or there are a lot of, you know, people that have never even used our product might say, oh my God, I love this, you know. So
yeah.
I'm very authentic. I think um, as people experience Mieux, it means from Janel's lab, it is the best. It's the best I can
Mm,
produce. So it might be worth, if one person dedicated her entire life on
yeah.
this for your skin, try it half with whatever you're loving, and then you tell me. And that's kind of how it organically played out. And now we
Yeah.
have like a lot of celebrities like RuPaul, thank God for him. He loves serum. So he, when Nordstrom flagship shop opened and they did a kind of a celebration where all the celebrities picked their favorite, he put, you know, he chose our hyaluronic serum, which was so rewarding.
That's awesome.
Paris Hilton, you know, she put on her Instagram, this is all organic.
It's amazing.
And she goes and gets a facial with our product and she loves it. So, you know, I don't like name dropping because I feel it's more important that every person with a skin can see the response.
Yeah.
Does that sound kind of corny to you?
I want to bounce directly from that with what would you say is the main demographic for your skincare then? Being you just jumped online, so you have a well grasp of who your demographic is, I presume.
Yes, definitely late 20s. Bulk of our clients are 30s. I think they're just entering into, oh my God, I've got crow's feet. I'm showing a little aging sign. We're very strong on anti-aging.
Yeah.
And all the way up to 80s, although they don't purchase online.
Yeah.
Our strongest demographics are late 20s to about 50s.
Okay.
So that's what we're seeing. Our reorder rate runs anywhere between 50 to 60%. That means when someone tries our product once,
Mhm.
half, if not more, are repurchasing, which is, I heard by industry standard, it's out of control. I mean,
Mm,
that's ridiculous. Yeah.
yeah. That's amazing. So
Mhm.
looking at Mieux today, what would you
Mhm.
say is the main separation between your brand and competitors then?
Mm. Um, Gosh, there's so many areas. I think number one is I try to duplicate what's happening within your skin
Mm,
with the, as best as I can.
yeah.
I use extremely a very high level of active ingredients because a lot of the raw materials we buy comes already diluted. You know, it's in maybe water solution, you know, unless it's powder form.
Mm,
So I do make a lot of our ingredients, for example, if I can. We have some proprietary ingredients that no other company has. I work with scientists. My husband's a physician. He was a scientist before he became a doctor.
Mhm.
So I have access to brilliant scientists who have dedicated their lives like in drug delivery vehicle.
Mm.
I have to convince them about, come on, let's use it for skincare. They kind of, it's that kind of little differences
Mm.
to accomplish real transformation in the skin. Traditionally, a lot of products out there causes inflammation because we look at our face like 2 feet away in our bathroom mirror.
Yeah.
So if I can have a little bit of kind of swelling of the cells per se, using ingredients that inflames that area a little bit.
Mm.
They're touted by, physicians or people of authority saying this ingredient will make transformation in your skin, correct? But there are other ways you can do it without causing inflammation.
Mm.
So I don't like, you could do microinflammation, but not continually. So
Yeah.
in essence, how are we different? It's how I look at the skin. Probably, how do I target that? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I think that's the key in a great formula. I'm a big foodie, so I respect like top sushi chefs because for them, rice is not rice. Your hand has to have a certain temperature to make that sushi rice. Does that make,
Yeah.
it's not like they take, any temperature rice and put a piece of raw fish. They
Yeah.
have a certain part of the fish. I mean, it's very, it's very curated.
Yeah.
So I look at skincare formulation just like that. I don't just pick any, meeny, miny, mo ingredients and then just whip it up and here we go,
Yeah.
So I think that, I'm not saying all products are like that. I'm just saying, I think we as an industry continue to step up more, expect more.
Mm.
We use more active water. A lot of skincare just uses plain water, right? Purified water, deionized water.
Yeah.
And I started extracting more water with activity like fruits, rice bran water, for example, we make our own. And I use that as a base. I'll use hyaluronic acid infused with these water. So it's a lot more richer.
Yeah.
It's a lot more nutrient. And I always wonder, I scratch my head and say, why when we are already buying ingredients, like example, a peptide will have over 99 sometimes % of water and then
Yeah.
a little peptide. And that's like the last very big buzzing ingredient per se. And then we take that and then dilute it even more. So how effective could it be, for example? So you got to really focus on how much of that ingredient are you putting in on activity.
Definitely.
Like imagine drinking coffee with 1 granule of caffeine, coffee, or 1 bean, right?
Yeah.
And then making coffee. So it's very important. I don't know if you're a foodie, but it's very important. Skincare resembles food for me.
Yeah.
Because for me, every bite I take has to be very good quality, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's really my drive, and that's what differentiates us.
Mm.
People are always amazed, like, how do you guys grow, man? You don't have a lot of salespeople. You don't have a big marketing team. How does this company grow? And we double digit. Even during COVID, we grew.
It's amazing.
And how does this happen? And I do believe that people can tell a difference. I'll have to tell you this really great inspirational story. I met this gentleman in the beginning of my career, right? And this very, 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 very well-known, successful gentleman. And he came to me and he said, oh, Janel, you're just going on and on about the product. He says, I am the king of marketing, I have a distribution across United States, overseas. And he said, I could technically make 5 creams with same formulas and then put different labels on it. And I can sell through. And he said, what you're telling me is, yeah, but women really don't care. And he was probably the key to my success because I thrive on insults.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
I said, really? I don't think women are that, you know, I don't believe that. So
Yeah,
that's when I decided that's where the best came in. I'm going to show him. I hope he's listening.
I hope so.
He inspired me to grow because I said, I'm going to prove you wrong.
That's awesome.
Women can tell a difference. A blind test they can tell without any marketing story.
Yeah.
So for me, try the product first and then listen to our marketing. But it doesn't work online. You know, it's all about marketing, right?
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, so I appreciate like opportunity to talk to you because this is like my very first. I'm not out there in the world.
Yeah.
A lot of
Well, I'm
people
honored.
know me. Well, I mean, really, I really appreciate you asking
Yeah.
being embracing of, is there an alternative way for, because beauty field is all marketing, you know that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So could a brand survive and grow by people responding to the product? It's a cult following. And that's
100%.
what's happening to us. You'd be amazed. The literally the top influencer in the world loves our product.
That's awesome.
She gets free products every day. So why is that? And because they can tell a difference. Let your skin talk to you. That's my motto.
Yep. So
Listen to companies. Listen to what the molecule is talking to you about. But it takes 30, 60, 90 days though.
yeah, definitely. With
So
your success past within the past years, what would you say is the top selling product then with your line?
well, we are the serum authority. Forgive me for being so arrogant. Serum is
Yeah.
one product that I don't have to heat up so hot, you know, in the temperature.
Yeah.
So just like food, when you boil things too much, some of the active ingredients won't work as it will not have the efficacy. So America, when I started this journey, was all about cleansing, moisturizing, but serum is one product that every single human being needs to use, including the men, because it is one delivery vehicle that doesn't have to form this like a cream texture. So our top selling products are serums. And you can see when you look at our assembly of products, we're very heavy on serums. And people need to know you don't have to go and buy different products all the time. You have to learn to customize and blend based on 4 seasons and the environment as you change through this period. So I'm really teaching a lot of people. I'm starting a boot camp. It's pushing yourself. I'm going to be like the Peloton, you know, leader for people to say, you don't have to keep looking. You have it already. You just have to know how to incorporate, blend, and understand it more. And in 3 weeks, we're going to start this 3-week program. And if I can transform your skin, I don't know, come and talk to me. And
awesome.
It's really, you know, fitness. This is not a hypey thing, but if we can go beyond, and I'm not talking about using 10, 12 products like the Korean beauty when it first entered into US.
Yeah.
It's understanding what is my skin? How is it performing? Most women have never questioned, you know, what is my skin all about? Other than the category is normal, dry, and oily skin combination, acne skin, sensitive, you know. And the idea was developed over 100 years ago. My God, we're sending men up in, you know, not on planes. I mean, you know, people are going up in the shuttle just
It's crazy.
Global, you know, what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
So why are we stuck in 100-year-old technology sometimes? You know? So I do believe let's demand more. You know, I think consumers need to ask, like, okay, you're telling me this. So without the inflammation, how can you change my skin?
Yeah, definitely. So I like to conclude each episode with this. If you could share one piece of advice with an aspiring entrepreneur, maybe something you've learned or regret, what would that be?
Don't chase after money.
Yeah, I like that.
I think if you chase after what you're called to do. And you'll know that because you'll wake up in the morning being excited and you'll go to bed thinking about it.
Mm.
So, and I don't want, and never think there's a failure or success. It's an experiment. You have to pivot, you have to rethink, restructure, break down the status quo. And it's hard because it's almost like you come up with an idea, oh, everybody else had the idea too. But do you feel that everyone is as passionate as you are in changing? And I know this is so idealistic, but looking back, I never thought, I'm going to, build a bigger house or fly in a private jet,
Yeah.
It's really a matter of, can I make a difference in an industry that, what are the problems that consumers are having? So I'm launching a men's line called Kizo Lab, because guys, watch out, because we're going to start early.
Amazing.
I think that people deserve more, which means when you start a business as an entrepreneur, I don't care if it's, chips or jerky or, whatever, app.
Mm-hmm.
How to, instead of thinking, and most of the entrepreneurs will say, what's your goal? What's your target? And I'm telling them it's really, I have to first examine what's my passion.
Definitely.
Right? So how do you disrupt this industry is you make it better. Be le mieux, be the best.
I like
Not
that.
just, don't just be pitching the best, but be the best. And what is that going to take? So if you're going to open a little sushi bar, learn everything about it.
Definitely.
Makes
Well,
sense? So
yeah,
I
Janel,
really am thankful for your patience to hear me talking about this.
Such an amazing story, and I really enjoyed diving deep into some of the insights of the beauty industry. Our audience is going to enjoy this episode. And to the listeners out there, make sure to check out Mieux at lemueskincare.com. And Janel, again, thank you so much.